Good day, my dear students, and welcome to our chemistry class. And for this topic, I'll be discussing significant figures and rounding off numbers. Now, what are significant figures? So, when you say significant figures, definitely, it is essential digits that contribute meaning to a certain number. It shows how precise measurements are and includes all digits measured correctly and plus one estimated digit. So later, on my next slide, dito natin makikita how do we estimate a certain digits. Okay? And with the help of significant figures, this helps us to determine, again, the precise measurement of a certain thing. Maybe a chemical or any object that we are about to measure. Okay? Now, when you say estimation, it's an approximation of a number based on the reasonable assumptions. Reasonable. Tanda natin yung reasonable assumption. So, it varies on the instruction. Pag sinabi natin na round it off in the nearest hundreds, nearest tens. Okay naman, sinabi two significant figures. Round it off in two significant figures. Three significant figures. Okay? Those are the reasonable assumption. For example, on this one, sa calculator natin, we have the value of pi. Definitely, we could write all the digits. Okay? We could write all the digits. So, definitely, we can assume. Okay? Nandito tayo sa term ng assume. Since that the value here is 1. Right? 3.141. Okay? Ito yung value natin. So, we can now assume that if we round it off to 3.14, so definitely, hindi siya mag-add 1, right? Hindi siya magiging 3.15. Because in the rules, again, 1 to, so we could not add to this. O hindi natin siya pwede i-round off like that. So definitely, we're just getting the 3.14. That's how we round it off, or that's how we estimate 3.14. Now, again, on my next slide, we'll have more examples on this in estimation. Now, what are the rules to determining the significant figures? So definitely the first rule, all non-zero numbers are significant. What do you mean by non-zero? So when you say non-zero, these are the counting numbers such as 1 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are non-zeros. Okay? So as you can see here in our examples, in rule number 1, we got 1, 2, 3, okay, or 123 has significant figures. 7.89 has 3 significant figures. Now, you'll be asking why? Because again, there are non-zero numbers. They're between 1 to 9. Now, on the second rule, we have any zero that is between non-zero numbers is significant. For example, 101 has significant figures. 50.07 has 4 significant figures. If you will observe, again, it's a matter of observation and analyzation of a certain digits, okay, check if they are in between. The zeros is in between, before, or after the non-zeros. Okay? If the number, okay, the zero is before the non-zero, so definitely, hindi natin siya i-count. Because wala naman siyang kasunod other than 1. Okay? Now, if a certain zero is after the non-zero, again, wala naman siyang kasunod na non-zero. So, definitely, we could not count it. Those kind of sig fig. Hindi natin pwede i-count si zero as a sig fig. But here in the sample, or in the rule of number 2, in between. Dito natin siya, in between. Okay? Next. Leading zeros or any zeros that are to the left of the first non-zero number are not significant. What do you mean by leading zeros? So when you say leading zeros, ito po, ito yung sinasabi natin, leading zeros. Please take note of that this, in our terminologies, this is the leading zero. Later, meron tayo tinatawag na trading. Okay? That will be on the next. So, always be guided on the term non-zero. If the leading zeros or any zeros that are to the left, okay, of the first non-zero number. So check mo agad to. Nakita mo na 0, 0, then this will be the first non-zero, then we won't count it. We won't count it. Okay? Same ruling na naman din tayo. Again, kapag may nakita kang example of 1.0024, this is considered as how many significant figures? So we have 5 significant figures. Why? Kasi po napagitnaan siya. No? Pagitnaan yung 0 between two non-zeros. But here in the 3, rule number 3, leading zeros of the first non-zero number are not significant. Next, trailing zeros. This is the second term. So when you say trailing, ito po yung mga kasunod. Okay? Kasunod daw. Kasunod. Okay? So, 45 with a decimal and then 00 consider as significant. Okay? These are the trailing. .0700 consider as significant figures. Okay? So, ito, bakit hindi kinount? Bakit hindi kinount to 0.0? Because this is leading. Leading. And then, the first non-zeros, definitely, is a 7. So, we could not accept this one as, or consider as, not significant. On the fifth rule, trailing zeros in a whole number without a decimal point are not significant unless specified. Unless. So here, as you can see, in 1500, we have 2 significant figures. If you're going to observe again, we do not have any decimal point. Wala siyang nilagay. Now, on the second bullet, we got 1,500 with a decimal point. Here, that's a decimal point. Okay? So, we count it as 4 significant figures. So, that's how we determine or count the trailing zeros. Okay? Trailing zeros. So, specified lang siya again. Pag wala kang decimal, babalik ka sa rule ng number 1 and 3. Okay? So, with that, let us move to the next slide. So, here, how many significant figures in each numbers, or in each bullet, rather? So, we have here in 100, 1, 2, 3, 4 has 4 significant figures. Again, they are all non-zeros. In 45932 has 5 significant figures. We have 100,001. Example on this one has significant figures. Why? Again, in between. In between po siya ng non-zero. Same also in 2009. In between siya ng non-zeros. Here in 0.0001, we have here the leading. So definitely that is not significant. So we count only the one as our significant figures. Here, again, this is leading. And this is our first non-zero. So definitely this just accepted. Ito lang, 231. That's why we count as 3 significant figures. Now, next, 0.000123900 or 900. So this is our leading, and then the first non-zeros, and this is our trailing. So definitely, if we're going to count the number of significant figures, so we accept this. So 123900, it has a 3 significant figures. On the next bullet, we got 5 significant figures because of the decimal, and definitely this is a trailing 0. Next, on the second bullet, we have 2 significant figures. Since we do not have a decimal point, so this trailing of zeros are not significant. Okay? Are not significant, so we count it as 12. Now we have here, the next bullet has significant figures, so it assumes that it has a decimal point here, has a decimal point. That's why we count it as 6 significant figures. So allow me to correct on this one. So since we have decimal point and it is not a significant figures, not 6 rather, so we count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So definitely, may decimal point tayo, we have 9 significant figure. In rounding off, it says here that if the digit to the right of the last reported digit is less than 5, then leave the last reported digit unchanged and discard all digits to the right. Ibig sabihin daw po, the last reported digit is less than 5. So we are ranging here from 0 to 4. Less than 5, right? Now, if the instruction here is rounded off into 3 significant figures, so on the fourth figure, or the fourth figure na to, kasi that's fourth, okay? On the fourth figure, nakita mo below siya, or ranging siya from 0 to 4, you will remain this as is. Unchanged. Unchanged mo na siya, then this 2 will be remove. Discard all digits daw. Remove na yan. So the final answer on this one will be 5.38. Okay? On the next bullet, same instruction again, 3 significant figures. Nakita daw dito, or sabi sa atin dito ay 3 significant figures. Now observe on the fourth significant figure. Since ranging siya ng 0 to 4, so definitely, we will unchange these figures, and this 4 will be discarded. Then the final answer will be 1.87. Remember, the range here is 0 to 4, unchanged. Less than 5 daw, less than 5. Okay? Now, if greater than 5, so the range here will be 5 to 9. 5 to 9. Says here that if the digit to the right of the last reported digit is greater than 5, then increase the last reported digit by 1 and discard all digits to the right. Okay? Increase by 1. Now, round it off in 3 significant figures. Observe mo ulit yung pang fourth figure. We got 5.386. Oh, 5.386. Since ranging niya is greater than 5, 5 to 9, definitely, we add 1 to this one. We add 1 to 8, rather. We add 1 to 8. So the final answer will be 5.39. Same ruling also on the second bullet. Observe on the fourth figure. On the fourth figure. Then since it's ranging to 5 to 9 and it's greater than 5, so this 7 will be added plus 1 or plus 1. So the answer will be 1.88. So that's how you round it off. There are other terminologies that how many decimal places. If your instructor says that 2 decimal places, ito yung sinasabi natin 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Okay? So if you have a value of 0.139 and the instructor said that round it off in 2 decimal places, so observe on a third figure. So since the ranging to 5 to 9 and greater than 5, so the final answer will be 0.14. And that will be, that's how you round it off. Next, if the digit of the last reported digit is exactly 5, then add 1 to the reported digit, and if reported digit is an odd number, and leave it unchanged if it is even. Okay? Now, so you will observe here, round off 1.875. So, na 3 significant figures. Okay? Observe again. Ranging natin is 5 to 9. So, we add 1. So, we got here 1.88. And then, on the second bullet, it is pumapasok yung another ruling natin. If the reported digit is an odd number, and leave it unchanged if it is even. Okay? So, here, nakita natin, 1.865. So, since the 5 is odd number, ulitin natin. Yung ruling na sinasabi niya dito, you will observe these 2 figures. As you can see here, they are both odd numbers. So since they are both odd numbers, that's the time you're going to add 1 to it. That's the time you add 1. Now, if the figure is even, such as this one, 1.86, 6 is even, definitely yung next niya is odd, you're going to unchange. Unchange mo siya. Okay? Unchange. So, the value here will be 1.86. Okay? On the first bullet, answer here is 1.88. How are significant figures used in calculations? So, I have the calculator here on my top right. So, later magagamit din natin yan. So, it says here that in addition and subtraction, the answer can only have as many decimal places as the measurement with fewest decimal places. The accuracy of a mathematical operation is restricted to the latest accurate measurement. So when you're going to add a decimal value, such as 21.94, 5.3, you're going to count the decimal places. So at this point, the decimal places here, we have 2 decimal places and 1 decimal places. That's how you count. Okay? And the rule here, in addition and subtraction, the fewest decimal places. So here, based on our observation, 5.3 has the least decimal place. So if you got an answer of 27.24, okay, so yung 4 natin dito, that's ranging to 0 to 4, great or lesser than 5, So we remove that and we keep 27.2 unchanged, diba? Sabi kayo sa ruling, unchanged. So we have a final answer of 27.2. So let's try this problem in addition and subtraction in significant figures. Okay, now Jimmy wants to find out the actual mass of the iron fillings on the evaporating dish. We use the analytical balance to measure the mass of the evaporating dish with iron fillings. Then measure the evaporating dish alone. The mass of the evaporating dish with iron filling is 18.9023 grams, while the mass of the evaporating dish alone is 18.35 grams. So what is the actual mass of the iron fillings placed on the evaporating dish? So as you can see here, okay, that the mass of the two, dalawa, pinagsama na, no? Yung evaporating dish with iron fillings that has a value of 18.9023 grams. Now, the objective here is to find out what is the actual mass of the iron fillings. Okay, so the operation here that we're going to do most likely will be subtraction. Okay, why? Kasi given natin dito is yung mass of the evaporating dish alone. Okay, it's a keyword, alone. Now we get the value of the weight of the evaporating dish alone and the combined weight of the evaporating dish and iron fillings. Okay, now so with that, let's try by calculating this one. So with the use of this calculator, so just simply input 18.9023 subtracted to 18.35. So the answer here is 0.5523 or 5523. That's the answer, right? 5523. Now, observe natin yung value. So since the operation here is addition and subtraction, and ang sabi is the few decimal places. So if you will observe here, alin dito ang merong few decimal places? So definitely, the few decimal places is the 18.35, which is 2 decimal places. 2 value lang, 2 significant figures lang. So definitely, here ang answer natin dito should be 0.55 grams. Okay? So that is the total mass of the iron fillings placed on the evaporating dish. Okay? So definitely, ang ginawa lang natin, no, determine lang natin yung number ng decimal places, fewest decimal places. So if we observe also here in our calculator, 18.35 has 2 decimal places, while for the 18.9023 has a 4 decimal places, so hindi natin siya pwedeng i-accept. In multiplication and division, the answer should only have the number of significant figures as the measurement with the fewest significant figures. O wag kayong malilito. Wag yung paghahaluin yung difference between the addition subtraction and here in the multiplication and division. Okay? Some addition subtraction, we're looking on the decimal places. Here, the multiplication and division will be observing how many significant figures by following again the rules. So dito, bakit 3 significant figures? We have 2, 1, 2, at 3. 3 significant figures. While here, in the 3 meters, we have only 1 significant figure. So definitely, if we encountered a 1 significant figures, i-round off na po natin. So since parehas silang odd numbers, so this one, i-round off natin siya into a 7 meters. Let's try this. So since the grade 2 students were tasked to build a terrarium for their science project, then the first group was able to successfully build one with the following dimensions, which has a length of 23.54 centimeters. For the width is 12.8 centimeters and the height is 10 centimeters. Now, what is the area of the terrarium built by the first group? If we're going to calculate that, simply multiply 23.54 multiplied to 12.8 and multiplied to 10. So the answer here will be 3013.12. 3013.12, right? So since ang height natin has a one significant figure, definitely here in 3013, so since this is 1, round off na natin. So to make it 3,000. Round off mo lang yan, then the rest mawawala, magiging 0, 0 na lang yan, no? So 3, 0, then the rest will become 0. Then these decimal places will be removed. So you tried this problem. I'll give you a minute, or you can pause this video for a while and then try to count the number of significant figures. Then later while, I'll be giving you the answers. So number 1, we have 4 significant figures. In number 2, we have 2 significant figures. In number 3, we got 2 significant figures. Why? Kasi meron tayong leading 0 dito, so it's not considered as counted. So 2 significant figures. Now, since we don't have decimal here, in number 4, we got only 2 decimal figures. Oh, sorry, significant figures rather. And here, again, this is the leading. It's not significant, but definitely we have trailing. May trailing tayo. So, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 significant figures. So, significant figures refer to the important digits that contribute meaning to a certain number. An estimate is an approximation of a number based on reasonable assumptions. And the following general rules apply when determining significant figures. So, non-zero numbers are significant. For example, we have 1, 2, 3. These are considered as significant numbers. Or 1.23 considered as significant numbers. Now, any zero that is between non-zero number is significant. For example, 101 or 10.23 or 1.203. Okay? So, those are considered as significant kasi in between sila ng non-zeros. Now, leading zeros or any zeros that are to the left of the first non-zero number are not significant. Definitely, if we have 0.0131, ito lang po ang ating significant. Or 0.00011131, definitely this only our significant. Okay. Next, trading zeros or any zeros to the right of decimal points are significant. If you be encountering this kind of problem, 0.0013000, so this trailing, ito trailing natin to yung 0 zeros, consider as significant sila. But this point, our leading definitely not significant. Okay, and trading zeros to the right of non-zero number but not to the right of the decimal point are not significant unless specified by a specific mathematical symbol like overline or underline. So this is just special cases, definitely. Now, for example, we have 1,300. So pag nilagyan na ng bar na ganyan, so consider as significant figures. But then again, this is a special cases. Special cases yan, so most likely we do not encounter that kind of value or putting a special overline on the top of a number. Now, to round off means to make numbers simpler but keeping its value close to what it was. The accuracy for mathematical operation is restricted to the least accurate measurement. So please take note when rounding off, do not round off the value during the operation or during the solution. Kasi magkakamali ka dun sa, or you'll get a wrong answer regarding on the final answer. So make sure to compute everything first, then as you come out with the final answer, this time you round it off. Okay, and when you add or subtract, please take note that fewest places after the decimal point. Okay, in addition subtraction, you will count the fewest places after the decimal point. And if you're going to multiply or divide, you need to count the fewest significant figures, just like what I provided the examples a while ago. Thank you so much for watching this video. So if you have concerns, you need some more clarification, you can take a screenshot of any of the frame of this video, and if you could message me, and I'll be helping you. So thank you, and see you on the next.